Oh, I have missed this sound for a long time. The Toronto Blue Jays are back in the fucking postseason. Let's get it. I am so happy that we're back in the playoffs. We're going to be playing October baseball, and I'm excited. I'm going to give you a brief rundown of the season. You know, yeah, we had a lot of injuries. Bichette, Tellez, Hernandez, Shoemaker, Thorne out for the year. We had some injuries all year long, but we fought through it like a team. And I'm proud of this team, no matter what. Um, I think they're the youngest team in baseball right now in the postseason, and that's very impressive. Doesn't matter if it's 60 games, 160 games, 62 games. We're the youngest team in the playoffs, and by far, I think. And and a lot has to do with our bullpen. Our bullpen's kept us in games early in the season and now late in the season. Our power hitting is pretty good for a young squad. Um, and moves at the deadline like getting Taiwan Walker, which he's been our number two guy all year long since he started, and he's been playing pretty good. Ryu, Ryu's been our workhorse. He he pitched 7 shutout innings today. Even though this will be uploaded tomorrow because I want to schedule it. He pitched 7 shutout innings against the Yankees. He played very, very well, and that's the first time a pitcher's went 7 innings. That's something I will be worried about in the playoffs because I don't know if our pitchers can go very long. It's not because we're giving up runs, because their pitch counts get high and Charlie Montoya wants to take them out. Um, these group of guys they've gone through a lot this year, and I think we've gone through the most diversity out of every team. And how do you say that? Number one, we didn't even have a home at the beginning of the year. The Blue Jays, they weren't allowed to play in Toronto because Canada COVID rules, so they had to go ask Baltimore, can we play? Nah. Pittsburgh, can we play? Nah. The last option was Buffalo. Okay, they didn't want to play in Buffalo, so they had to renovate. They had to renovate. They had to renovate a Salem Field, and they've done a pretty good job. It looks like a decent ballpark, and we have a winning record at Salem Field, and you know, Buffalo is embracing this team, and because not just because they're winning, because they just fight, man. They fight. Like the two biggest comebacks were when we were down 7-0 and we came back against the Phillies in that doubleheader. I was like, how did they do that? And that was in the sixth inning. So we were down 7-2. They scored 7 runs and they won that ball game against the Yankees a few days ago. It's Buffalo magic. I don't know how they do it. And like even when the biggest blowout was against the Mets, the Yankees, against the New York teams. They just rebound and try to win the next game. They forget about that blowout and they just focus on the next game, and they just play to win. And like we're young, we are and we're ready. We're gonna pull up a fight against Tampa Bay or whoever we play, and we ain't gonna get swept. We're gonna squeak in at least a game in the wild card round. And I just can't wait to see this team in the playoffs. I haven't seen this team play in the playoffs since 2016. The last game was when we lost at home soil against the fucking Indians. That was the last game I watched. That was a Blue Jays postseason game, and we lost Edwin. We lost a lot of players that year, and that was the downhill of this team, knowing that our competition window has shut. Yeah, 2017, 2018 was years that we should have just blew the team up, but we didn't. We stayed stubborn and we went competitive. And each year we brought up guys. I think 2017 we brought up Hernandez. He's turned out to be very well. 2018 we brought up Gurriel and Tellez and Baraki. He's been decent in the bullpen. And then 2019 was the year we started the full on rebuild because we got rid of Donaldson, we got rid of a bunch. We got rid of all the guys from the previous playoffs. They're gone. They're not on this team. All right. All this team is new players, guys, guys from different teams. Like this is zero guys from the 2015-16 season, and I loved it because those guys are garbage now, except Donaldson and Edwin. Those guys are still slugging, but the rest, they're dog shit. And Osuna's good. I like Osuna. I wish we kept Osuna. Um, and looking at the like people think all we have is rookies. We got guys with playoff experience. Joe Panic, he's won a World Series. He's been to the playoffs. Grichuk, he's been a couple postseason runs with the Cardinals. Stripling, Ryu, those guys have been to the playoffs, been to the World Series twice with the Dodgers. I think Tejon Walker and Robbie Ray both been to the playoffs with the Diamondbacks. And I think that's about it. So we have, Fisher, but he's gone. We don't want him in the playoffs. He'll drop balls. And, we got some experience, but the majority of our guys are young and they're playing in their first playoff series. And it's going to be exciting for the fans of this team because we didn't even have a home ballpark this year. We had to play games in Washington, Philly, where else? Yeah, Washington, Philly, Boston, and that's it. So those were we had Washington, Philly, Boston, and Buffalo were our home games, and we're called the Toronto Blue Jays. But this team just fought hard, and people keep the Yankees. They made some excuses about the minor league ballpark. We were just smacking them, and I knew the second we got that minor league ballpark running, we were gonna get hot because every single guy that is young on this team has played for the AAA Buffalo Bisons, and they just got hot. The pitching is gonna worry me in the playoffs because our top three guys, I don't know who's gonna be our three guys in those series. It's gonna be Ryu, Walker, and I don't know who's gonna play Game 3 if there is a Game 3. Hopefully not. Hopefully we sweep the damn Rays or whoever we play. So I know the plan is Walker and Ryu. So. And that makes sense because Walker will have 4 days of rest. And, I'm just proud of this team, man. The way they worked hard all year. The way that they had the quarantine in Rogers Center. They couldn't leave or else they would have got arrested. They just built a bond. And these guys they're friends, they're family. And, you say, oh, it's about money in the MLB. These guys are fucking family. Bo Bichette, Guerrero, Vladdy, Biggio, they all grew up in baseball, okay? They grew up in baseball, they lived it, they breathed it, and now they're in the show, they're in the playoffs. It's just magical, man. It's just magical. These guys saw their dads have success. Bichette, his dad was pretty good with the Rockies. Biggio, his dad was pretty damn good with the Astros. With the Guerrero, he's a Hall of Famer, his dad. So 2 Hall of Famer dads. It's pretty great. And Gurriel, his brother's pretty damn good. So, these guys, they grew up in baseball and they had relatives playing baseball, and that's why they have a lot of good experience. And looking at this team, our bullpen was consisted of starters. Merriweather, he was a starter in the minors. Baraki used to be a starter for us. Anthony Kay was a starter for them in the minors. TJ Zoik, a lot of these guys were starters, and we had a weak bullpen. I said we need to fix our bullpen, and they just put up all the starters and they played very well. So the bullpen was pretty good, except for Wilmer Font, which we DFA'd his ass, and I was so happy once we did that. And yeah, I just can't wait. Can't wait. Tuesday is the game. I can't wait. We play 3 more games against the Orioles, and the Yankees have to. If the Yankees win 2 games, we're automatically the 8th seed. But if we win these 3 games and the Yankees lose 2, we're back. We're in the 2nd seed. It's highly unlikely, but they lost 3 of 4 against us, so that's going to be pretty cool. Um, yeah, and also we could have missed the playoffs with that 6 game losing streak that started against the Yankees, and then continued with the Phillies, and then we won that game in Philadelphia. This team, this team, yeah, I don't know, something. This team's gonna do something special in the playoffs. I'm not saying World Series because this is their first year. A lot of young talent on this team. They have not that much experience. And the Rays last year, they uh, they they gave the damn the cheaters, the AL champions, the AL champions a run for their money. So we'll see what can happen. But I think we could win this game because we won some games in the Trop this year, and we played the Rays tough all year. And it's the regular season. Regular season, it doesn't matter till the postseason comes. And I'll be making my preview for the Jays and Rays series uh, later after the season, and I'll be making my MLB predictions for the wild card round. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to watch playoff baseball. First time in 4 years. I'm watching my team in the playoffs. I know it's expanded playoffs. I know it's a 60-game season, but there's teams that have been rebuilding for a while, longer than us, who finally got back to the playoffs. Like the White Sox, they're looking good. The Padres, damn it, they've been rebuilding for 14 years. The Marlins, they've been rebuilding for 17 years. I was 1 year old the last time they won the World Series. Um, yeah, those teams. Oh, the Phillies, they haven't made the playoffs like 2011 or something like that. So like those teams that are competing for playoff spots, those teams rebuild it longer than us. So it took us 4 years to rebuild. Like really 1 year because those 2 years, 17, 18 were competitive years, but they weren't really. It was just a bunch of old men and a bunch of mediocre pitching, and Osuna. That's really it. Osuna was our best player, and I can't wait to see this team play. I honestly think we could. Anything's possible. I honestly think we can beat whoever we face in the first round, second round, divisional series. We'll see what happens. Whoever we face, if we go to the divisional round, and that's all I gotta say. Mile High 6 signing out. Peace. I know this has been a long video, but I'm just happy this team's in the postseason. Um, and Jeff's happy. A lot of Blue Jay fans around the world are happy. In Canada, in Buffalo, we've grown a fan base in Buffalo. The way they played, and we embrace Buffalo as our second home. Man, if we win the chip, if we win the World Series, we have to have 2 parades. It's a fact. But we have to take it 1 game at a time. We gotta win against the Orioles, build some momentum, and just see what takes us for the playoffs. So yeah, other than that, Mile High 6 and out. Peace. Have a good day, and can't wait for the postseason, boys.